The Fed15 podcast is presented by Serving Those Who Serve, a financial planning practice serving federal government employees and retirees all over the country. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not intended to be taken as financial advice. All listeners should consult their personal advisors before taking any action. The opinions expressed by our hosts are their own and do not reflect the views, policies, or position of either Raymond James or Serving Those Who Serve. Securities are offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services are offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. Serving Those Who Serve is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services, Inc.
Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of the Fed15 podcast presented by Serving Those Who Serve. Each week, Dan and I will discuss the latest news and info that feds need to know in 15 minutes or less. So whether you are a seasoned federal employee or whether you're just starting out in your career, Fed15 has always got you covered. So grab your coffee, grab your green juice, grab your protein shake, kick back. We'll tell you what you need to know but might have missed during the week. If this is your first time joining us, we are your hosts. I'm Katelyn Murray, and I'm joined by Mr. Dan Sipe.
How are you, Katelyn?
Doing all right, hanging in there. Been a very exciting week in the federal space. As you guys know, we typically try to keep our episodes fairly existing outside of time, but every now and then current events do cause a situation where we do need to acknowledge that. And obviously, this week has been a very fast-paced week in the world of feds with the new administration.
Indeed. And by the time this goes up, we will already have passed the deadline on the deferred retirement email that everybody received. Folks, we are connected on this. You are important to us. We care about this. We are devouring every bit of information that we can find as it comes out. As you know, there's not a lot. And we generally call things right down the middle because our political party is Fed. Our colors are Fed, white, and blue. So we are here for you through all of this. I have said for years that, for example, the DC area, our cash crop is governance. And so we have a different winter. It would appear that we have entered winter, and you are not going through this alone. So you can always reach out to us at any time. We will stay as up to date as we possibly can, so that we can have a balanced and fair conversation with you so that you can make the best decisions for yourself and your family. And on that, you may rely.
Absolutely. And I will also just add in there, obviously Serving Those Who Serve has a huge network of feds that we serve both through our client base and also through our community, through obviously podcasts like this one, like the Fed15, our FedLife podcast as well. And we have a very robust backlog of written content on our website that is there. There's not a paywall there, folks. It's all out there. We put it all out there for you because we are a purpose-driven practice and we care about feds. So if you are having conversations with folks who are concerned or folks who just want to know more about their benefits, they want to understand, all of their options, please, please, please share this podcast. Share, Serving Those Who Serve's homepage. The website's STWServe.com. We care about feds, and we just want to put the correct information into the right hands. If you've been a fed for a significant amount of time, you know that Dr. Google is not a reliable source of information for benefits, of information on your benefits, because your benefits are so complicated, right? So get your information from vetted sources who know this stuff, who have been in this for 40 years alongside you as a Fed, who you can trust. So Indeed. That's my soapbox moment. We don't want to dwell on it. As Dan said, we are fair and balanced and unbiased. We just want to put vetted information in the hands of Feds so that they can make the best decisions for themselves and their families.
Absolutely. And our episode today has a couple of really good points. Katelyn will be covering the executive order, the ones that affect feds. So we'll be going into those. But first, I'll be kicking off with something that a lot of people may not know about, but if it matters to you, it matters a lot. And that would be special needs trust planning for Fed families. As you may know, I do what I do because of my father-in-law passing away. What some of you may not know is that my wife is guardian for her handicapped sister. So this is very close to us. So I'm going to jump into this, and then Katelyn will round us out with the executive orders. So supplemental social insurance provides monthly payments to individuals with disabilities, but eligibility is based on very strict income and asset limits, which may include parental resources. Now, Medicaid fits in there to help cover healthcare, long-term care costs, yes, and exceeding SSI asset limits can jeopardize eligibility for both supplemental social insurance and Medicaid. So that's where the special needs trust comes in. A special needs trust allows funds to be held and managed for dependents without affecting those eligibilities. So there are three main types of special needs trust. First-party trusts, funded by the dependent's own assets. So, for example, from an inheritance or legal settlement. Third-party trusts, co-created by parents or family members, brothers and sisters and brothers-in-law, funded through savings, life insurance, other assets. Pooled trusts, those are frequently managed by nonprofit organizations, and they may combine the resources of several families while keeping individual accounts separate. Federal life insurance benefits. Feds can use their FEGLI as a flexible funding source for a special needs trust. Designating the trust as beneficiary instead of the dependent helps direct the funds appropriately without, again, blowing up those SSI limits. Thrift savings plan, portion of the federal employee's TSB can be directed to that special needs trust, but it's important to understand the tax implication and ensure that the trust is structured to accept retirement assets while preserving government benefits eligibility. For example, the federal employee retirement system for survivor benefits first does allow folks to elect survivor benefits for special needs dependents, which can provide some ongoing financial support after the Fed's death. To avoid overfunding the trust and affecting eligibility, it's important to name the trust as beneficiary and choose appropriate survivor benefit. Example, 25 or 50%. That can be pricey. You're going to want to talk to somebody about it. But above all, get expert advice for special needs planning. There are not thousands of them, but there are indeed exceptional attorneys that can assist you drafting the trust, and that is essential to avoid unexpected tax or eligibility issues. Consult a CPA that specializes in federal benefits, and hopefully one that has a heart for special needs planning to be able to help you develop a comprehensive approach. This is another place where we are here for you. We live in this world. It affects us personally, and we're happy to assist you with yours. So, Katelyn, tell us about these executive orders and what they mean for our folks.
Absolutely. So the new administration obviously has come in fast with executive orders. Things are happening at a very fast rate. This is one of the reasons why I really encourage folks to go to stwserve.com, sign up for our weekly newsletter. We are covering this just as fast as we can get it out to you. So with the latest executive orders, latest meaning the initial ones that kind of came through impacting feds, there's really 5 key executive orders at the time of recording, they're impacting our feds. The first is the return to in-person work mandate. Our President Trump directed federal agencies to transition back to in-person work, and they are phasing out remote work policies where possible. This is an area where there's a lot of confusion on timelines. There is no set timeline as of time of recording on remote work phase out. However, there has definitely been a statement made that remote work will be phased out and in-person work will be prioritized wherever possible. Heads of departments do have the power to grant exemptions for remote work in certain roles. So some flexibility may remain. The degree of flexibility that will remain is as of yet unknown. Obviously, for many of our feds, this can mean a significant shift in daily routines and commutes. It could also create some friction as far as office space. So a lot of our feds, have moved to offices and kind of shifted in the post-COVID world to offices that maybe have 70% capacity, 80% capacity. And so that is a concern there. Another of the executive orders impacting feds, reforming the federal hiring process and restoring merit to government service. The focus here, as stated in the executive order, is on merit-based hiring decisions, reducing political influence, and prioritizing, quote, skills and experience. Long-term employees really want to stay aware of changes to hiring practices, as this could impact job security, promotions, career growth opportunities. Speaking of hiring, there is also a hiring freeze currently in place. A separate executive order imposed a freeze on new hires across federal agencies. Exceptions have been made for critical national security or public safety roles. The hiring freeze could lead to heavier workloads for current employees as other employees leave and are not, backfilled positions. Those responsibilities are going to have to be shifted over the employees, obviously, that remain. The director of OMB has been called upon to submit a plan to reduce the federal workforce. We have already seen the beginnings of that with the deferred resignation offer that Dan and I had mentioned at the top of the episode. Supposedly, once a plan to significantly reduce the size of the federal workforce has been implemented, the hiring freeze will be lifted. We are not there at this time. There is 2 more executive orders that we need to hit. Restoring accountability to policy influencing positions. Now, this one emphasizes, quote, greater transparency and oversight for senior officials. This is our SES affecting executive order. Those senior officials who shape policy decisions. There's not a lot of clarity here, I'll be honest, on what restoring accountability means, on what greater transparency means. Agency heads have been called upon to create a plan for that. We don't have that plan yet. Once we do, obviously we'll be covering that. And another executive order, kind of rounding out the list here, impacting senior executives. The title of this one is Restoring Accountability for Career Senior Executives. And the quote from the order is that it aims to increase accountability for senior career execs by ensuring that they remain responsive to public needs, policies, and goals. This is the one that's carrying, we mentioned those SES performance plans that need to be developed within 30 days of the issuance of this executive order. That's the end of February. Agencies will then be required to adopt these plans. Executive Resources Board must be terminated currently under this order, and a new or interim board with a majority of senior non-career officials must be established. And then the existing performance review board memberships must be restructured pursuant to this executive order to ensure enforcement of SES evaluations and uphold high standards for senior execs. What this means, as far as we know now, our SES folks could see, some impact on career advancement. Retirement plans could be impacted. Pension plans potentially could be impacted. Transition periods when leaving senior roles obviously could be impacted by this, and also, hiring freeze, things like that. There's a lot of things that are incorporated in these 5 executive orders. There is not a lot of clarity at this time. So one of the things that Serving Those Who Serve will be doing as part of our mission to serve the career civilian Fed is keeping track of each of these executive orders and the way that they develop, right? So once there are updates, we will share those with you. For now, we're putting out the information as we have it, and we'll continue to update you. So please do stay in touch with us. We're gonna monitor the situation as best as possible, and continue to be a resource for you as Feds.
Absolutely. And well said, Katelyn. Folks, that's what we have for you today. Okay. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be back every single week, and even sooner if we have to. Whatever we need to do during this period to make sure that you have what you need to make the best decisions for you and your family, that's what we're going to do. So have no fear. We will be back to bring you the latest for what you need to know to make informed decisions about your career and well-being as a Fed.
Absolutely. And so that you can make sure that you stay in touch, like I said, with us, make sure that you're subscribed to the podcast wherever you listen. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe there. If you're on Spotify, please subscribe there. You can always find the episodes on our website at stwserve.com under the podcast banner. Please share with your friends and colleagues. It's never been more important to understand and really have a comprehensive understanding of your federal benefits. You may feel like you understand how FEHB works. You may feel like you understand how FedLife works. You need that comprehensive understanding that is personalized and individualized to you. Please, share this information with your friends. Connect us with folks who need information. We're here to give it.
Indeed. And more so than ever, for more information about all the topics we cover and more, check out the blog. That's blog.stwserve.com, or even better, subscribe to the newsletter, the weekly serving. You do that right from the site, and you'll get all of the latest stuff that we do pushed directly to you. You're going to have a lot of stuff to read, a lot of stuff to think about that could be coming down through your agencies or through outside channels from OPM. So we're going to help you cut through that. We'll send it directly to you.
Of course. And for those who want to dive even deeper into learning about your federal benefits and financial planning for feds, we encourage you to join us for one of our complimentary webinars. We've been doing these for years.
Yep.
We will continue to do them for years. It's good information. It's a great place to start if you're trying to get that comprehensive understanding of your benefits. We have 2 coming up that I think are highly relevant. The TSP webinar is coming up on February 13th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. It will be hosted by the lovely Jen Meyer. We also have financial planning for feds. This is a great one to get you started, folks. It's on February 19th, and that will be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and you get me on that one. So if you want to leave podcast feedback, register for that webinar and come give it to me. If you prefer a one-on-one approach, you can always kind of bypass all of that. Reach out to us, to our team directly for a financial planning consultation at meetings@stwserve.com if you are interested in, establishing a relationship and really kind of getting in with us on a one-to-one basis.
Yep, folks. And just to remind you, we were here for Reagan. We were here for Bush. We were here for Clinton. We were here for Bush. We were here for Obama, here for Trump, here for Biden, back for Trump. Okay. Did I get all the ones in right order, Katelyn?
I think so. It was pretty good. That was very impressive.
OG has to be careful with this. We've been through it all. We've seen it all. And we're going to stay here with you through whatever may come. So thanks for listening to Fed15. I'm Dan Sipe.
And I'm Katelyn Murray.
And we will 100% absolutely positively see you next week.
See you there.